And degrees of freedom, we know regression means.
Sir, I'm unable to access the sheet. Is it in the lab?
Yeah, it is in the lab team. Okay. So regression means, I told you the other day, it is basically explain sum of squares. Okay. Residual means basically residual sum of squares. And total means total sum of squares. Okay. Already we have discussed. I think I'll go for sharing the screen. Then I can switch over from one file to another. Uh, if you just get back to this table, then you see for explained sum of squares, degrees of freedom, it is equal to k minus 1. And k is equal to the number of coefficients including the intercept. For residual sum of square, it is n minus k, and for total sum of square, it is n minus 1. Hence, here for total sum of square, it would be this n, number of observation minus 1. For residual sum of square, it would be n minus k, which is equal to 2. And for explained sum of square, it would be k minus 1. You see this 144, 45, we are also getting 144, 45. Now, when it comes to the question of mean sum of square, mean of the sum of squares, basically this is nothing but sum of squares divided by the respective degrees of freedom. And you can just copy it. Let us see whether this is matching. Okay, we need to just, yeah, you see. You see the results are exactly matching, you see. And for total, of course, we don't require. Is it okay? Now, what about F? F statistic, if you see the formula here, what we have written for the F stat, it is, you see, explained sum of square divided by degrees of freedom divided by residual sum of square divided by degrees of freedom. So basically mean of ESS, that is this one, divided by mean of RSS, that is this one. And you see the F value. And how to get this statistical significance of F? For that, as I said, you need to go to Fx and you can go for statistical formulas and then go to F distribution. Okay, F distribution right tail. Okay, put X means put the value of F. Then degrees of freedom 1 means degrees of freedom for the numerator. In the numerator, we have mean of explained sum of squares. Hence, the degrees of freedom would be equal to 1. And for degrees of freedom 2 means basically for the residual sum of square, which is 44 here. So it would be 44. So we are getting this result, and you see this is the level of significance, and you can very well see this probability is very close to 0. This probability is very close to 0. It is much less than 0.01. That means this F statistic, it is significant at 1%. That means the estimated model is significant at 1%. So how we are carrying out the testing of hypothesis here? We are basically computing this value of the F statistic. Then we are using the F distribution to get the corresponding probability. Right? Basically the significance level, the type 1 error. So you go to Fx, put the value of the computed F, put the value of degrees of freedom for the numerator. Degrees of freedom for the numerator means degrees of freedom for ESS. Then put degrees of freedom for the denominator, that is degrees of freedom for the RSS. And then you will get the corresponding significance level of this F statistic. And depending on the significance level, we will decide whether this F is statistically significant or not. Whether we will be rejecting the null hypothesis or not. If this probability is less than 0.10, but say greater than 0.05, we will say that the null hypothesis is rejected at 10% significance level. If this significance level is less than 0.05 but greater than 0.01, then we will say that the null hypothesis is rejected at 5% significance level. And if this is less than 0.01, we will say that the null hypothesis here is rejected at 1% significance level. And if this significance level is greater than 0.10, we will say that the null hypothesis is not rejected and hence the model is not statistically significant. Normally we go up to 10%.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Can you just explain how we go to the F and significance X? I had some network loss, so
okay,
I wouldn't.
Okay. This significance level, how we are getting, I'm just showing again. What you need to do, you basically need to go to Fx. Okay. In Fx, there is an option here, statistical. And when you go for statistical functions, as you scroll down, you will see there is F distribution right tail. I discussed yesterday that F is having a distribution which is skewed rightward. Right? Unlike Z or T, F doesn't follow symmetric distribution. So what we are doing basically here, we are taking F distribution right tail. So you click on this function. Then you need to basically put three values. One is X, means value of this computed F. Right? Then degrees of freedom 1. Degrees of freedom 1 means basically degrees of freedom for the explained sum of square, which is there in the numerator of the F statistic. That means this one. And degrees of freedom 2 means degrees of freedom for residual sum of square. That is this one. Okay. And then this is basically the significance level of F. We conclude on the testing of hypothesis based on this significance level, which basically represents type 1 error. What you can see from this value, it is very close to 0, I mean very close to 0. It is much less than 0.01. This is less than 0.01. This means significant at 1% level. This means here we reject the null hypothesis at 1% significance level, and that means the estimated model is statistically significant. Now I was talking about certain criteria. Suppose this significance level is, I'll just write it down and then I'll upload this file. Suppose this significance level is greater than 0.10. Suppose this significance level, this is greater than 0.10. Okay, just thinking of writing it in. Okay, 0.10. Then we'll say estimated model is not statistically significant. We'll say this. Okay, here we'll say that the estimated model is not statistically significant. Now suppose this significance, suppose this significance level, this is less than 0.01, but it is greater than 0.05. Can you tell me what should I say in this case? It is less than 0.01, sorry, 10, but it is less than 0.10, but it is greater than 0.05.
Significant at 10% level.
Exactly. So estimated model is statistically significant at 10%.
Sir, I had a question. What does this significant here implies? Like, physically, what does it mean? Like,
I'll come to that. I'll come to that. Again, very good question. Just let me just
Sir,
complete this, and then I'll just get back to what you asked. Okay? Will that be okay?
sure, sir.
Okay. So what I'm saying now, suppose this is less than 0.05, but this is greater than 0.01. Then we'll say it is significant at 5%. Last one is, suppose this significance level is less than 0.01. Then we'll say estimated model is statistically significant at 1%. Now let me get back to what someone asked. What does it exactly mean? Now I think you know the concept of significance level, or say confidence interval. Suppose I am constructing 5% confidence interval. You know the normal distribution, it is basically a bell-shaped curve, and 5% significance level, or say 95% confidence interval, will set some limits. Actually, these limits are given here in these results. These are actually the limits. How are these limits constructed? So before coming to your question, let me just fill in some other aspects, then it will be linked to this. What basically we need to do? We need to compute the standard error. We need to compute the standard error of the intercept and the slope. How to do it? For that, we need to first get what? Summation of u hat I square divided by n minus 2, which is nothing but this one. Because this is what we discussed today. We will be replacing sigma square with sigma hat square. So, what is the standard error of, say, beta hat? It is basically sigma hat square divided by summation of small xi square. And this basically I am talking about what we discussed earlier. In one of the classes, we discussed about this variance of this sigma square, then summation of small xi square. And as I said today, we don't know sigma square. That's why we use an estimator of sigma square, which is sigma hat square. So we will be replacing sigma square with sigma hat square, which is summation of u hat I square by n minus 2 for a bivariate model. And this is nothing but this one. You know, this is summation of u hat I square divided by n minus 2. So standard error of this will be this divided by summation of small xi square, which is nothing but, you see, small xi square summation, this one. So this is what we need to get, and then because this is standard error, we need to get the square root.
It's 0.5. You did 0.05.
Oh, sorry.
Sir, it won't be result verified. It will be estimation. Result
Estimation, no?
verified.
Okay,
Sir,
okay, okay. Sorry. Okay, sorry. I'll have to go there. Yeah. So it would be basically estimation sheet, right? Yeah. You see this value.
So summation y square by n minus 2 is the mean.
Let me see. Yeah, n minus 2 is to be divided with. So this is multiplied by, this is to be multiplied by n minus 2 already we have divided, no?
So we can just take the mean RSS, no?
So it is 13, not 14.
No, sir,
Mean of
N14.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you are right. This should be this one. This should be this one divided by estimation of, yeah, now I think it's okay. Yeah, you see. So what basically I just put it wrongly here. This should be automatic. This is what we are talking about, mean of RSS. I just clicked on the wrong cell. Is it okay? Now what about T-stat? T-stat is basically this divided by this one. Coefficient divided by standard error.
Sir, I'm confused. Like standard error, you just took it as that summation y square by n minus 2.
Just let me see if I have written anything wrongly. Coefficient m, oh sorry, it should be m divided by standard error. I'm coming to that. So tell me, what is your doubt?
So like, what was that estimation H48? What is that?
Okay. If you see the formula for the standard error, actually, as I said, standard error is an estimation of standard deviation. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Now, why we are going for estimation? Because we don't know sigma square. Am I right? Is it okay?
Yes.
So when we are computing standard error here for the T-stat, if you see, T-stat is basically beta hat divided by standard error of beta hat. Now question is, how are we getting this standard error of beta hat? Standard error of beta hat means sigma hat square divided by summation of small xi square root. Am I right? Hello?
Oh, could you repeat, sir? So standard error is sigma hat square divided by?
See, I'll just insert that formula. Basically what we are saying, standard error of beta hat. Okay, standard error of this beta hat, this is equal to sigma hat square divided by summation of small xi summation square. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Now this is equal to what? This is equal to this should be replaced with what? Can you tell me?
Summation ui hat square divided by n minus 2.
Right, right. So basically u hat I square this summation divided by n minus 2. N minus 2. Am I right? Is
Yes,
it
sir.
clear?
Yes, I understood.
So what we are doing here? This is summation of u hat I square divided by n minus 2. This is summation of u hat I square divided by n minus 2. Isn't it? This is RSS, that is summation of u hat I square. And this is divided by n minus 2. That's what we have done here. So if you see this formula, here we are using n13. Then what we are dividing with? N13, remember, already it is divided by n minus 2. Then what we are taking from this sheet? Basically summation of small xi square, which is given here in column H, this one. You see H48. Now if you just see this cell, it is basically, you see, H48 of the worksheet estimation. And then we are just taking the square root of the entire measure. And then when we are trying to get the T-stat, it is nothing but this beta hat divided by standard error of beta hat. Is it clear? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Now let us get the standard error of this. How to get it? Again, sigma hat square into 1 by n. N means 46 here, plus x bar square. I have x bar in this sheet. Which one is x bar? X bar is in column B. So this is x bar. Okay. So x bar square divided by summation of small xi square. Right? And then this entire one is to be multiplied by sigma hat square, and then I need to take square root of this. You see 171, 1, 2, 3. If you just and then you divide.
Sir, did we change anything for like alpha hat in comparison to beta hat?
The standard error is different, no? Because
sir,
the
what
variance
we
formula is
changed?
different, no? Isn't it?
Like, what was the change? Like,
see, if you see the formula for variance of alpha hat, what is that? Can you recall variance of alpha hat formula? What formula did we derive for variance of alpha hat? You see, this was the formula. So what we are doing here, we are simply replacing sigma square with sigma hat square. We are simply replacing sigma square with sigma hat square. And then we are basically using this formula. You see this formula, 1 by n plus x bar square divided by summation of small xi square. You come to this formula, 1 by n plus x bar square divided by summation of small xi square. Then whole we are multiplying by sigma hat square. Remember, this is sigma hat square.
yes, sir.
And then we are taking the square root.
Okay. So, sir, it is similar like to variance kind. Like, standard error is similar to variance, just
Exactly.
that.
Basically, square root of variance using the estimated value of sigma square.
Yes, sir. So
Is
it
it
is
clear?
same for like alpha hat and beta hat. Like,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
okay, sir.
Only thing is that sometimes, I mean, just I overlooked this earlier, so I'm just changing this. This is sum of squares. Let me write it clearly. This is sum of squares, and this is mean of sum of squares. This is F stat. Okay, now how to get the p-values? Once I do this, I'll get back to the earlier question. How we are talking about significance level and all these things. After this. So how to get the p-values? Now, let us start with this. How to get this p-value? Again, you need to go to fx and you need to get t distribution. Okay. Go to t distribution to tell. Come here, put the value of t statistic. Okay. And then give the degrees of freedom, n minus 2. That is K2. If you can recall, that is 44. Okay. So this is basically the p-value. And I just need to squeeze it for comparison purpose. You see, this was the p-value 1.1 e 13 minus 39. You see. Now, how to get it for this one? Again, you go to t statistic here to tell. Sorry, t distribution to tell. Put the value of the t statistic, put the value of the degrees of freedom 44, but there is a point here, because this value is negative, you know, this t distribution, z distribution, they are symmetric. So the theoretical values are basically given for one side and it is basically replicated. So you need to write absolute. Otherwise, you will not get the value. You write ABS and put it in bracket. You see. 8.5 E minus 13, you see, 8.5 E minus 13. So in either case, you can see these probabilities are much less than 0.01. So both alpha and beta, both alpha hat and beta hat, they are statistically significant. Both slope and intercept, they are statistically significant at 1%. So I can just mark it in YOLO and I can write both are statistically significant at 1%. Both are statistically significant at 1%. Is it clear up to this point?
Sir, I didn't get in that standard error of alpha hat. Why are we multiplying variance of alpha hat? Like variance of. Oh, okay, sir.
We have taken square root now. Is it clear?
So then could you just show the formula of that standard
Yeah.
error of beta hat once again?
This is for alpha hat.
Yes, sir.
So this is for variance. So for standard error, what we are doing? We are replacing this with sigma hat square. We are replacing this with sigma hat square. And then we are taking square root.
Yes, sir.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So I can again, for your better understanding, what I'll do, I'll just put it here. So when I upload this, it will become easier for you to follow. So standard error means this is to be made square root. This is also to be made square root. Same is true here. When I am writing standard error, basically this is to be made square root. Earlier we didn't take square root, but square root is to be taken. We just missed that out. Okay, now what will happen? This will again be, I'll just copy this part from here. So this is to then you basically take this inside the square root. Is it clear? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, what we'll do, we'll basically go for the confidence interval. When we talk about confidence interval, say at 95%. At 95% confidence level, we need to get the upper limit and the lower limit. Now question is, what would be the value of theoretical value of t at 95% confidence level? For that, what you can do, again there is a function, or you can consult the book also. I'll show you how to use the table that is given in the book. But here you can go for T inverse to tail. Okay, go to T inverse to tail. And probability. Probability is what? 0.95% means basically 0.05. And degrees of freedom, it is basically 44. This one. N-2. This is basically the theoretical value of T at 5% significance level or 95% confidence level. Then what we are doing, it is basically mu plus minus sigma, the way you have done earlier, multiplied by this value. So the lower limit would be equal to this beta hat minus this theoretical value into sigma, means basically the standard error, that is this one. Let us see what value we are getting here. You see, lower limit 36953. You see 369, if I just squeeze it, I hope I'll get the same value. You see. What about the upper limit? Again, just you need to give beta value plus this T value at 95% significance level or confidence level or 5% significance level multiplied by this standard error, upper limit. You see what you are getting? It is exactly matching, you see. Similarly for alpha also, this minus this into this standard error. Again, if you just, you see, and then here it is alpha plus this theoretical value into this standard error. You see. So basically this is critical value of T at 5% level, 5% significance level. Critical value of T at 5% significance level. This is the value. Now question is how we are getting this value. Here, if you are using Excel, by using this functional command, you can straight away get it. Else you can go to the book also. In the book, the T table is given. Go for the 5% significance level. Go for the corresponding degrees of freedom. If you see in the table, across column there would be value for different significance level, and across rows there would be different degrees of freedom. Degrees of freedom here in this particular case, you know, it is 44. take this degrees of freedom, then go to the corresponding significance level, and then you will get the theoretical value of T. And then you just compare with respect to the lower limit and upper limit. Lower limit, upper limit, I told you how to basically compute. It is basically mu plus minus T into T means critical T into sigma means standard error here in this case. So beta hat plus minus critical value of T multiplied by the standard error. Similarly, alpha hat plus minus critical value of T multiplied by the standard error. You will get the lower limit and upper limit. Now let me get back to the question. What somebody just pointed out. What does it exactly signify to say that it is statistically significant at 5% level or 1% level or 10% level? Excellent question. There are two ways of testing of hypothesis. Either you can see this probability. What does it mean? This essentially says what is the probability that I am basically rejecting otherwise a true hypothesis. What was my null hypothesis? Beta is equal to 0. And I have formed here 95% confidence interval. Right. I have formed here 95% confidence interval. If you see this value, you can very well see here that this T computed T value absolute value of this T statistic, it is basically greater than this theoretical value. I'm talking about again this absolute value of this T statistic. It is greater than this T statistic, critical T value. And when this is so, we reject the null hypothesis. And this critical value we have fixed with respect to 95% confidence limit or say 5% significance level. Basically, what is outside the two limits, lower limit and upper limit. So Here, simply what you need to do, you need to compare these t values. You need to compare these t values with respect to this critical value and see if the absolute value of this t statistic is greater than this critical value. I can see the absolute value of this t statistic for alpha or absolute value of the t statistic for this beta, means beta hat or alpha hat. They are all greater than this critical value, and hence the null hypothesis is rejected at 5% significance level. If I just go for 1% significance level, then what will happen? Basically, you go for fx, then T inverse to tell I'm going for say 1% significance level, that is 0.01, and then degrees of freedom, again this 44, and this is the theoretical value. And you need to compare this computed value with this theoretical value. If this computed value, absolute value of course, greater than this theoretical value or critical value, then we'll reject the null hypothesis at 1%. So this significance level is actually selecting the significance level is actually helping you to get this critical value, the boundary. It is actually helping you to get this critical value. I just tell you how this selection of significance level important. Suppose the computed t value is 2.5. Suppose the computed t value is 2.5. What does it mean? It is greater than 2.015. So it is significant at 5%, but it is less than 2.692. So it is not significant at 1%. So if I select 5% significance level, the null hypothesis will be rejected. If I select 1% significance level, the null hypothesis will not be rejected. And that is why in one of the classes I told you, if you can recall, selection of the significance level is very, very important in case of testing of hypothesis. And depending on what significance level you select, the conclusions on the test would be affected. So I'll stop with this. What I'll do, I'll basically suggest you to use the data set what I shared with you yesterday, and you select any independent variable with respect to ROC being the dependent variable, and you try to fill in this template on your own. In next half an hour, 40 minutes, let us do this. We discuss, and I understand you may have many confusions, you may have many doubts. But before going for further discussion on the doubts, I would suggest all of you just to try once filling in this template using whatever we have studied so far. What I'll do, I'll replace this Excel file and also I'll replace the Word file because there were some typing errors that I have corrected and I have added some more aspects also. I'll upload this Word file and also the Excel file. You please follow this template and try to fill in this template on your own by using any independent variable with respect to the data set what I shared with you yesterday. Just two more things we need to fill in. That is standard error. This is standard error of the regression, and this is nothing but the square root of this one. (692), you see 692,065 and here 692,065. It is basically square root of this one. And what about the adjusted R square? If you can recall, the other day we had discussed in the class about R square and adjusted R square. Just I'll get back to where I had written this. Can you tell me the page number? I mean, if you can locate it, the formula for adjusted R square.
So can you try like finding it in the
that I can just do, but I'm just trying to locate it.
Page
Yeah, here. You see the formula 1 minus n minus 1 by n minus k into 1 minus R square. So basically what you need to do, 1 minus, okay, 1 minus n 1 minus n minus 1 by n minus k, right? If you see this formula, n minus k, okay, so n minus k means 2, okay, this whole into 1 minus this R square. This is the value of adjusted R square, 0.98088, you see, 0.98088. Is it clear? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Once you try with this at your end, and then whatever subsequent doubts you are having, I hope you will have more questions, further doubts, once you do the work at your end. So with this, I'll stop and I'll just upload these files right now.